know, to me, there's a lot of positive that's coming out of experiences here and working just with the community. And this has become our community. I mean, I've been here, it's almost 6 months now. It's been 6 months, so I feel that, you know, the community, I've been embraced as family and have been treated with the utmost respect. And people have said, you know, kind things about the Corps of Engineers. And, you know, people said some things that they felt that were, you know, that weren't being done. And you try to explain to people, you know, it's hard to have concerns, but the thing is, if you got a complaint or a problem, you have more credibility when you have a solution tagged right on the end of that. So it's all right to have that complaint. If this is your complaint, have that solution tagged on the back, and it gives you a lot more credibility, and it just makes the team stronger. You know, we're in this together. You know, and when everyone realizes that, that's how we operate as a well-oiled machine down here. And this is setting the tone for anywhere in the world that there is a disaster, to get the community together with music and communication, and people just conducting themselves as good stewards, good ambassadors, good neighbors, good citizens, good volunteers. You know, we're all on the same page. As long as we're on the same page, and when you have one heartbeat working, and it's a million of us working together, and it's just one heartbeat, boom, boom, just one heartbeat, we're all in sync. You can't beat that, you know? So it's important that, you know, we keep people encouraged, we keep the debris moving. You know, debris is our common enemy, and we have marshaled all the forces and all of the tools that we have to fight it. And, you know, I got to say thanks to our federal government, because they allowed us to come down here. They put together a team, and they put together a dynamic team to come down here and give closure. And I'd have to pat everyone on the back saying, job well done. You know, and we'll just continue to give that closure and carry that spirit wherever we go. And when it comes to us military people, we've been down here, we're kind of more of the blue chip longevity people, staying here longer. Most of the Corps of Engineers people, they'll come for 30 days or 60 days, they'll do their tour and they'll rotate out. Some will come back and do a second tour, but they have other civic responsibilities that they have to do in their district. But we really appreciate them taking the time to come down, because a lot of them, they're not only just coming here coming down here for Gulf Coast recovery, a lot of them are going to Iraq and Afghanistan, so they're side by side with the soldiers over there as well. So we appreciate what they're doing, and we're just going to. And each time someone leaves, I make sure I tell them, you know, thanks for what they've done, and I will do what I can to emphasize the key point they played, whether they stayed here for 30 days or a couple of weeks or whatever. We appreciate their time, appreciate their families, appreciate their supervisors, any leadership that's signed off and said you can go for 30 days or you can go for 60. We appreciate that, and we need that spirit to continue. So anywhere that we're needed in the world, that we'll be able to be there. You know, whether it's an earthquake, a tornado, a flood, wherever we're needed, even if we're just there just to tell everybody everything is going to be all right. And for them to know that we're in this together, and that the country is standing behind you in prayer. Okay? That's important to know. You know, the country stands behind you in prayer. Plus, we're going to send you the stuff down there that you need to get things taken care of. So for them to know all of that is important. So we're not just going to bring that security blanket, but it's going to be a warm blanket, because you know there's a lot of backing behind it. So that's kind of how it's been for me.
Well, how's it been for the people out there? I know you're in the public eye a lot. You know, you've had a lot of exposure. You've been at public meetings, you've been at forums, you've been at city council meetings, you've been at all these things, you've been on the radio extensively since your tour of duty here. When you first got here, how's it changed from when, you know, from today? And now it's now hurricane season 2006.
Well, if I start at the beginning, I got down here in December. It was on the coast, December 17th. When I first got down here, it was an eye-opener, because the first area that I came across, I would say, was probably past Christiane area. I was down there on 90, and it was at night. Now, I hadn't been down here during the day, but busy turned off to the side looking at, I mean, you really was looking, you was looking to the side more than you should be looking straight. And just to be in awe of, I mean, the news media did not prepare you whatsoever, you know, of what it looked like here. And I remember just operating out Diamond Head, when nighttime came, it was quiet. You didn't hear any crickets, you didn't hear anything. But the thing is, amongst all of this, you had some people that were going around that were positive, but for the most part, a lot of people were in a kind of a sluggish state, and you could tell that some people, they were sitting on the fence of whether to rebuild, whether to stay in the community. They always looked like they were in that decision-making mode. What should I do? Should I just say forget it, or what should I do? And initially, I mean, people were pretty heated up. People were pretty heated up. But the thing is when they saw us coming, they would come at us with excitement. And the thing is, like I tell someone, when you're talking to someone, you got to hear what the message is. You want to get that nugget in there. That's the message, not the delivery system. So people come up at you yelling and screaming, and they just want help. They just want closure. They want someone to listen and say everything's going to be all right. They want someone to validate, okay, this is my problem, whatever it is. Okay, that sounds like an insurance problem. This is the procedure you need to go. If you've got a medical problem or whatever, going those ways. So the thing is when the storm impacted people in such a negative way, it just contaminated every aspect of life. And that's trying to get people to realize, when you come down here and someone has lost their job, lost their house, they've lost all their transportation, and they've lost their means of making an income, as everything has been stripped from you, to include your identity. I mean, I had a lot of people coming at me, and sometimes we'd take some pictures saying, they would say every picture they've had from the 30s or the 40s is washed away. And then we take a moment and say, well, let's take a picture together. Let's just start your new collection. So it's like you feel sorry for that, for what people have gone through. But the thing is, people for the most part are moving on. And for those that lost a lot of things that can be rebuilt, it's still a hurt. It still leaves a hole in their heart. But those that lost family, you can't even really, I mean, like I said, I've had a lot of people that come at me crying, and I'm a human being. I'm going to be crying too. And the thing is, I cried a lot of nights that I was here, but I had to turn it over to the Lord, because I was like, I didn't want to lose out behind this. And turning it over to Him is the only way. It's made, it's lightened the load and made things better. Coming here, compared to the heartbeat that's now, it was a devastated community. There was hostility in the community, and I'm not trying to slam anybody, but there was a lot of tension and hostility and worry and fear in the community. And I think by virtue of going into these different meetings, dealing with Bay St. Louis, Waveland, County Board of Supervisors, these are all public meetings, and also just how we've executed the mission. If someone says a tree, it was pretty much one tree at a time is kind of how we won over the community. Someone would call up saying, Sergeant Childs, I got a tree that's going to fall on my trailer. I'm worried. I'm scared. What can you guys do? And then for me to get on the phone and talk to one of our team members, they go out there, they take pictures, do a recon, and they're taking the tree down 12 hours later. And then the person calls you up on the phone, they're screaming, Sergeant Childs, they're outside. I'm like, who's outside? You're playing with it. Oh, they're cutting down the tree, and and I had this one couple that was right out of Bay St. Louis, a gentleman to come out there and fix the roof on their house, and he was afraid the tree was going to fall down and they would relive the storm. And we was able to get a crew out there in about 12 hours to cut it down, and they were ecstatic. I mean, these people, it was just like they were kids in a candy store or a toy store. It was Christmas all over for them. They were so excited, and that momentum from that one couple, each time we gave someone closure, and by just virtue of executing the mission and letting people, yes, we'll do this, we're going to do all we can to pick up the storm-eligible debris, the more closure it started. It was an uphill battle when we came here, and because people didn't know who we are, they heard about us, didn't know what we were going to do. They didn't know if we were going to, unfulfill promises or just leave hopelessness or what we're going to do. So we fought up the hill, and then once we kind of got up the hill, I mean, the momentum is just like a roller coaster. It's like clink, 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 and then all of a sudden you at the top, and that's how it's been. And the thing is that's why I will continue to say, when people come down here and conduct themselves as professionals and with compassion, that has had major impact.